the future of the United States of America, the future of Europe, and the future of the world. And I want to first say that the way I'm going to approach looking at the future is through what I call scientific intelligence analysis and prophetic analysis. And what I mean by that is that, number one, that we look at current economic, sociological trends. Number two is that we anchor these trends in historical precedents. And number three is we incorporate Bible prophecy, which was given to us by the personal living God of the universe for the purpose of equipping us to navigate our lives in the future. And these prophecies were made 4,000, 2,000 years ago. So let's talk about where we are for a moment. Now, the first thing I want to bring up is where we're going and where we are. So, where we are right now is we're on the verge of the greatest paradigm shift in the history of civilization. I have helicopters flying around me, as we usually do up here in Malibu, policing the beach, and it is what it is. No perfect environments unless you want to shoot it in a safe studio, but I like to be out in nature. We're on the greatest paradigm shift in the history of human civilization. And what is going to happen in the next months and years is going to determine your future and my future. So I want to make a number of projections, first based on contemporary economic analysis. First of all, we have a global financial crisis in Europe, in the US, in Greece, and it is my opinion, after many years of research, that the current economic crisis is deliberately engineered for the purpose of transferring the wealth of the middle class to third world nations, not to people, but to the dictatorships, to equalize the playing field, to push forward the agenda of globalism for the game plan of a one world government and a one world economic system. Now, what makes that statement real is, first, it can be substantiated by the comments of George Soros on the BBC to tens of millions of Europeans. It's been talked about by leading economists in major financial publications. So this is nothing mysterious, and it's nothing new. Economists are anticipating this. And people have gone on record, like Henry Kissinger. Like last week, Henry Kissinger, Rockefeller's right-hand man, a key leader in the Council on Foreign Relations, came out about a week ago, as he has continually, and said, we're going to use crisis to bring about a new international financial order. And so that's what they're doing. So you could wake up one morning in the near future and discover that your currency has disappeared, and we now have a one world monetary currency. In addition, you may discover that you are no longer buying and selling with credit cards, but you're using a chip. The BBC just announced a couple of days ago, there was a science fiction writer, Elizabeth Moon, and she did a BBC feature called A 60-Second Idea. And when I read her 60-second idea, I really had to laugh because the idea was so ridiculous. But the BBC obviously has an agenda in promoting this. And Elizabeth Moon's idea, her quote, original idea, was to give every baby a barcode or a biochip implant at birth. Brilliant idea, highly original. Original? I don't think so. If you read the book of Revelation, Revelation chapter 13, the Apostle John, on the island of Patmos over 2,000 years ago, had a vision, which is recorded in the book of Revelation. And in this vision, every single person on planet Earth is required to receive what's called a mark. And that mark, I believe, as I say in my DVD series, Are You Ready for the Coming One World Government, One World Economic System, and One World Religion, is a biochip implant or a microchip implant, the very thing that Elizabeth Moon was proposing. So this idea of every child at birth being given an implant or a barcode is highly an original thought. It is an idea predicted by the Apostle John over 2,000 years ago, and it announces a new international financial order where you can't buy or sell without this mark of the beast. Interesting. But you see, you wouldn't be able to know that unless you knew something about Bible prophecy. 2, you understood history, because there's a historical precedent with Nazi Germany and the relationship with the IBM Corporation and the invention of the punch cards as the first numerical computerized tracking device in history. And then you look at prophecy. So we're about to make a paradigm shift as a civilization into some kind of global government, and you and I are part of that. And you can arrive at that conclusion through the study of Bible prophecy. You can arrive at that conclusion through the study of economics or history, and you can arrive at that conclusion through the study of history by reading people like H.G. Wells, the Fabian socialist, who wrote the book The New World Order, and many others. You arrive at the common conclusion of a global government and a global economic system and a global religion, all predicted in the Bible. I'm Paul McGuire. And we're talking about